Hi guys, James from NewTracks here, reminding everyone that our debut iOS app will be launching this coming August. To stay on top of news and get access to exclusive member offers, sign up now at www.newtracks.com.au.
Episode 3, Rockey track in TOOLANGI. So this is the beginning of the track. Nothing too serious here. There's a bit of shaly rock, but I basically do this track the whole way up in one low. Bit of a climb up to this first rock step section. That's your first obstacle. I try and hug this to the right. You get past that, you keep steady climbing. Gets a bit rocky and shaly, more so in this section. It's an aptly named track, Rockey track. Second rock step, and then you come up to a third one, and that's the worst of the track, and then it's just a gradual climb through, again, some more rocky boulder bits, and to the top of the track where you are out. I recommend for this track one locker at least, whether it be rear or front, a winch, also 33-inch tyres at a minimum. I think 2 lockers really helps here on this track, but it is obviously doable with 1. So beginning of the track, all I do for the whole track is 1 low and flick on the lockers as I need. Obviously I am twin locked and 37-inch tyres. Also running a winch, a Runver 13 XP. So as you can see, it's nothing too hard at the start of this track. It does get steeper as you go along. So I just plod along until I get to the first rock step here. Just a little shout out to everybody that ever comes along with me and has to film. It's a really tough gig, walking up a track carrying a gimbal and a GoPro or phone or whatever. So a big thank you to anybody who's ever done that for me, but I think the footage speaks for itself where it glides along and looks really nice. So thank you everyone. So the climb continues until we get to this intersection coming up. To the left there is a chicken track. I've actually never taken this chicken track. I've done this track maybe 3 or 4 times and gone up the guts every time. So it's a steady climb to the first rock step, which you see here. I like to engage my lockers before I get to an obstacle because I just want to drive it easily and help my drive line out. So here with this first rock step, I try and hug the right hand side a little bit, and again it's just about throttle control, giving it a little bit of power at the right time so that you don't get caught up scratching for traction. So again, it can feel a little bit hairy, especially in a short wheelbase here, but the right amount of throttle control gets you through these sections. Bit of wheel liftage there. Just picking your line, feeling, throttle, lockers on for me here. And I get a bit stuck here because I think I didn't pick the right line, and also my throttle control wasn't great. So back on down. Still not the right line. It did push me across to the right line, but now just repositioning myself. Always better going a little bit back further so you see where you need to go. So hug the left here, and up I get. So we keep going on to the third obstacle. As you can see, it does get rocky here, and I get stuck again. My throttle control was not great. Looking back at this video now, I definitely think I could have gotten up this line, but I sort of didn't commit to it and backed off. I thought I could crawl up it, but my wheels sat in a hole when I did go slow. So I backed down here and reposition myself. It did feel a little bit hairy here because of the short wheelbase. I was dropping into a hole. With the guys spotting me there, I backed down and decided to go up the right hand side, which is an easier line. Like I said, looking back at it now, I definitely could have driven that. So I'm a little bit spewing about that. But anyway, up the right hand side, one low, my lockers are in. As you can see, it's just grabbing for traction. Get around that obstacle, and that's the hardest obstacles done on this track. Now you just get to some loose rock boulder sections, and it's just maintaining that throttle speed and feeling your way through it. It's a combination of control and throttle. It's a bit bouncy. So that's pretty much the worst of Rockey track. Final little climb. Navigates through some rocks. When I need to steer, I turn that front locker off and just keep the rear in. And that's about it. You get to the top of Rockey track. Done. So now we've got James from New Tracks heading up in his long wheelbase GQ, 33-inch tyres, twin locked. It's that steady climb from the start. I'm not sure what PSI he was running. He does not have a winch at this point in time, so not something I recommend doing, but we had a couple other cars with winches, so if he did get in trouble, we could have got him out of trouble. So he's approaching the intersection where there's a chicken track to the left. It's always good going second or third or after somebody's done it and you've watched them drive the track. You get to study what they've done and pick a better line. So he's getting to that first rock step now. I'm guessing he's got both lockers in here. One low. Slow and steady. Hugs the right, but probably doesn't have enough throttle at the right time. Needed to bump that up a little bit before he got to it. Tries again, no good. I personally think it's better going back a bit, but he Just gives it a bit more gas and rides up. So it feels a lot more stable here, as you can see in a long wheel base where I was bouncing around a bit and lifting a wheel. So he gets through that next rock step, no probs. Climbs it. Then he avoids the third rock step and heads to the right, as I did, and has no problem getting around it. Then just climbs his way to the top of the track, and that's James from New Tracks done. So here we've got Terry, GQ short wheelbase, 35-inch tyres, front locked, and a worn high mount. Does that steady climb to the first intersection. This track's pretty safe in terms of getting into a rolling position or anything like that. As you can see, you've got walls either side of you, so if you do get into a spot of bother that you're not really going to go anywhere unless you do fully cross up, which I find hard to see how that would happen, but it's a good track. Straight off the Melba Highway. So here he approaches the intersection. As you can see by the trees that it is quite a steep track. Now he's coming up to the rocks. First step, hugs the right. I would imagine front locker is on, does it easy. Here's the second step. Bit of gas, bit of soot, but comes up a bit stuck. So I'd imagine if Terry had a rear locker as well, he would have climbed that quite easily. But it's just getting that repositioning. And again, he got stuck in the same step that I did. Back down. Heads left a little bit, gives it a bit, no probs, up and away we go. Then he avoids that rock step, the third one that I got stuck on, taking the right hand line, which is a lot easier. Looking for traction there, gets up, no probs. And that's Terry's run. The Rockey track done. Just climbs the last bit, gets a bit bouncy and rocky here. Bit of sideways bouncage. steady climb. As you can see, our car's parked up there. And that's Rockey track in TOOLANGI done, episode 3. So guys, stay tuned. New Tracks is releasing their app in August, so stay tuned for that. Get on board, it's going to be a really good thing. Also subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications bell. I plan to pump out a few more of these episodes really soon, so if you've got another track you want me to do, leave a comment down the bottom and I'll get to it and pump out some more track talk videos. Thank you very much.